so now that we're streaming, if people are playing it, they can hear us. So go
Oh,
record
okay.
now.
Hang on, let me refresh.
So no more talking until we're ready.
Oh, here it is. There's Misha. There's Craig.
They can hear us, bud. So we're
I know.
live right now until we start.
You know, it was interesting. The sort of concept for the record came around a photograph that Rich had taken on the 4th of July, and it was, fireworks, the silhouettes of people watching it fade, and it was also sort of a reminder that things like the 4th of July are things that have become symbols of our monuments, had sort of faded. They'd sort of detracted in their meaning. People, they can be their own monument. They don't need to look to monuments to remind them what's important. They can be their own sort of choice of change. And then, what I also think is that songs can be like monuments. They're sort of this idea that they affix a certain place or time, and they stand as a testament to whatever that time and place was or that circumstance. And so, over time, I think what most people who make music hope for is that they've done something that stands beyond just what they've done.
Monuments has been a...
Hey, everybody. I'm Rich with Fire and Radio. I got Ed with me as well.
Hey.
Welcome to our live stream. Let me see if Ed's live here. Hopefully he is. Hope everyone's doing well.
I'm live. I see it.
You're live on there? Let's see. Trying to get your video going too. All right. Can everyone see? Is Ed going live there? Hopefully he is.
All the way live from the 215.
All right. So, hey, thanks for joining us. We are here for the Quarant streaming second time around, talking about monuments and doing some songs for you guys. It's a different, I know it's different than being live, and we missed that. And I'm sure we're going to get back to that soon. But in the meantime, we're trying some new things and trying something like this out for you guys, as well as plenty of other bands out there. So, so Monuments, we started that about 2 years ago, writing this record, and we recorded it with Jesse Gander and Dave and the guys at Gradwell House here, and we spent a good year writing that record. Probably had over 28 demos and culled it down to about 11 tracks that ended up making the record. I'm actually checking my text to make sure everyone is actually good. It looks like Ed is frozen, so let me see if I can fix that for you guys. Bear with me 1 second here.
Is my audio live?
Here we go. Hold on. This might be it. We might have you. There he is. You live now? I think you're good now. Hopefully. All right. You gotta love the technical difficulties, guys. We're trying here.
Oh, I think I'm unfrozen.
You're unfrozen?
Yeah, do you want to build a snowman?
There we go. All right, so Ed's here. So Ed, you want to take a couple seconds, say anything?
Thanks for everyone tuning in. I'm actually looking forward to hearing Rich play some tunes because it's gonna be good.
All right, so starting out, I think probably one of the first songs I wrote for this record, or that we collaborated on overall, was a song called "Save Me." It actually ended up being the closing track. We ended up making it the closing track of the record, and that song dealt with about anxiety and everything else, which is actually pretty apropos for everything that we're going through now. So I thought I'd start out with that, and we'll take it from there. So if you have a drink, it is happy hour. I'm drinking bourbon. I hope you enjoy it, so enjoy. Let me transition this over for you guys. All right, this song's called "Save Me." Save me now, save me from the demons I once brought home. I don't want to be left alone. I'm left alone. And every night I'm dreaming I'm somebody else. I don't want to be left alone. I'm left alone. Save me now, save me from myself. And every night I wish I was somebody else. Save me now, save me from myself. Save me now, save me from the demons I once brought home. I don't want to be left alone. Left alone. And every night I'm dreaming I'm somebody else. I don't want to be left alone. Left alone. Save me now, save me from the demons I once brought home. I don't want to be left alone. Left alone. Save me now, save me from this hell. And every night I lose a piece of myself. Save me now before they ring the bells. Save me now, save me from the demons I once brought home. I don't want to be left alone. I'm left alone. And every night I'm dreaming of somebody else. I don't want to be left alone. Left alone. Save me. Save me. Come on and save me. Save me. All right, let's get back to Ed.
We back to good.
There we go.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. Rich and I spent quite a bit of time last night dialing in that guitar tone. It sounded phenomenal. Sounded good.
Cool. All right. Let me see. Hopefully we have I think a live stream going. So, we also spent a lot of time kind of going back and forth writing this record with our producer and Jesse Gander, who has handled bands like Japan Droids and many others. But it was great because part of that process was him coming in early and actually helping us kind of go back and forth and understanding what works and what doesn't work, and making some hard decisions of what was winning and what was not. And that's what helped actually cull down a lot of those songs over time. And that by the time we got to the studio at Gradwell, we were ready to go. And that made the week-long process that we did of recording this record actually really go smoothly. We had a really good time doing that. What do you think, Ed?
Definitely. Jesse helped out tremendously, shaving off the rough angles and making me change my bass strings when we got there. But that was fine. But yeah, definitely. We were ready to roll from day one.
We got any comments coming in? I'm curious if we have any questions coming in. Certainly take them.
Not yet, Phil, our old roadie. He said that was one of his favorites.
That's awesome. What's up, Phil? Thanks for tuning in, man.
Hardcore hot tub party.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. So, leading up to this, so the album came out on April 3rd on Wednesday Records, and we put out 2 singles, Tulare and XSF, both with videos, which have been well received, which is great. We had a great time filming them. Actually, leading into this, you probably saw a little intro about the making of Monuments, and that was done with Audica Productions and Adam Peditto. We've worked with him before on our last record, New Air, and super, super talented filmmaker and producer, and he helped us with the 2 videos that we did. They were the last 2, Tulare and XSF, actually were done here in Philly back in December. We had a really great time doing it, and we actually did it at Bud Studio. Some were done on like a, I don't know, what would you call that, Ed? What would you call that, a sound stage, I guess it was, or where we did it? Bud Studio?
Yeah, it's like a photo shoot stage. It's not a sound stage.
Yeah.
Basically, just reminded me of like a half pipe. It had like a transition
Right.
into the white.
So we had a great time doing it, and we did we did all of Tulare there. There were some great actors that were involved in that, in the making of that video. There was a really cool vision there that they had with Tulare. John played that last week. You've seen the single, and Adam had some great visions for that. And then we did XSF there. Then we also did XSF all around Philly, kind of mimicking somewhat, the whole Rocky theme of that. So I thought, I guess I'll probably go into that song now. I guess I'll do XSF. Look,
Hold on, Rich. We got a couple questions.
Oh, let's take them. Let's take them.
One from our good friend Misha.
Hey, Misha, what's up, man?
What's the biggest thing you guys learned writing this album?
Wow. The biggest thing, let's see. I think the first, knee-jerk reaction, the first thing that comes to mind is that I think we finally figured out how the 4 of us work together and collaborate. And, that honesty in the creation of these songs, but not only making the fun decisions, oh, this is cool, and let's call it this, and let's have another chorus, it's also being very honest with one another on, what's not working and what to say no to. And that type of constructive criticism and feedback has been, I think, phenomenal, valuable, but it was something that I think can only come through time, and time working together, and the 4 of us being lifelong, really good friends, and being able to do that, to do what we do. We all have jobs and stuff like that. So it's been dedication and sacrifices to that end. But we love what we're doing. So I think one of the things I learned from that is, we hit our stride, and I think we want that to continue. So that this is right, I guess, is one of the things that I learned working with this. How about you, Ed?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Constructive criticism for sure, and just trusting. Goddamn buzzword, trust the process. We like that, but but definitely, like we can just tell each other, that sucks, or that was
Right.
good. That's pretty much the way it goes. We got another couple more questions, Rich.
Go for it.
Let me look through here. Do we consider our music punk? I find it to be dense rock. Love your guitar sound. Well, coincidentally,
wait, hold on. Dense rock?
Dense rock. Well, that must be another genre we created, because we did create another genre in the review. It was called dream rock. What was it called?
Dream punk.
Dream punk. I don't know.
The four of us come from, obviously many different corners of influences over the years. From punk to hardcore to rap to avant-garde, indie, the whole deal. And that's the great thing. That's the great thing about the melting pot, I think, of who we are. We've always been in that circle of post-punk, punk, indie punk. So sure, to some extent, yeah, absolutely. Those influencers are there. And that definitely comes out because, if anything, when we hit it live and we go up on stage, I want to make sure, we're moving around and we're having a really good time doing it. And that's, that's one of the bases of what we do, is that it has to be fun. It always has to be fun. The writing process, the delivery, the live shows. So yeah, I would say to an extent we are, but I think we're an amalgamation of, the melting pot of influences between the four of us. And you know what? And that's what I think you're seeing, especially in these 11 songs. If you look back over the last couple of records, that sound, those influences, and the way we write, our lyrics and the stories that we're telling come through. Like, New Air was darker in a sense. I spent time with John and Adam and Ed. The four of us all collectively spent time, and we knew that New Air was, kind of a darker record of the things that we were talking about and writing about. But this one was more positive, and this one was more forward-thinking, and to be inspirational in what people can be. And you know what? It was serendipitous. To an extent, very unfortunate of what we're going through now. But it was serendipitous in the extent that it's great to hear people from the UK, from Europe, from all over writing into us, saying like how much this record means to them, and that's been great. So, Ed, anything?
Ironically, rocking the Most Def T-shirt, as you can see. Yeah, I can't really add anything that brings any more to the table on that one. Let's go into another song, and I'll get back to these comments, because we have a couple more questions actually.
All right, I'll take another one.
I want to hear some rock and roll. You want another question?
No, I'll do another song.
All right.
All right, guys, stand by. Here we go. All right. Let's get my monitor set up. All right. So I was talking to you guys earlier that we did a video for XSF. If you guys know that song is a hard-hitting song, and which definitely has a Hot Snakes influence to it. No qualms about that. But when we were doing this and thinking about how do we deconstruct this to make it into a live setting, an intimate setting, it's like that was going to be a challenging one. So I took a stab at it. Bear with me. It's all good. We're here to have a good time. I hope you guys have your drinks. west. I'm tangled and numb. And I'm tangled and numb. Yeah, I'm tangled and numb. This is your last exit. This is your time to go. There's F in the review. I'ma go through the coast. Towers took me away, so wait, boy. It's time to go. Oh, the devil you know. I'm hanging out with the devil you know. Left, west, I gambled my soul. And I'm tangled and numb. Yeah, I'm tangled and numb. This is your last exit. This is your time to go. This is your last exit. Heading back to the devil you know. There's F in the review. I'ma go through the code. Towers took me away, so wave boy, it's time to go. Oh, the devil you know. I'm hanging out with the devil you know. Oh, the devil you know. I'm hanging out with the devil you know. The devil you know. I'm hanging out with the devil you know. All right, let's get back to Ed. All right, we got you back in, Ed?
Yeah, hopefully. I think you have to turn me up apparently, just a little bit, maybe a tad.
Turn
Says
Ed up?
says Phil,
Okay.
or I'm not talking loud enough, but I'm speaking pretty loud, I think. We have, let's see. I gotta go back to the questions here. And early influences.
Why don't you take that first, man? Go ahead.
Oof. I think collectively our influences are definitely Fugazi, Jawbreaker, early influences. We actually, I think before Adam was the drummer, we did a Dag Nasty cover, if I do believe so.
We did. Million Days,
Yes,
wasn't it?
yeah. If I had a million days. Personally, for myself, lots of hip hop, lots of hardcore, even jazz. I played in a jazz band in high school. That's good for me.
All right.
Let's hear from Rich.
Well, you know what? We were the guys were doing an interview recently for I think is it Punk and Normal Activity? I think it was that we were answering all those questions.
Yeah.
So
Still trying to work on that.
Yeah, I know. So I go back to you know, the first 3 records I ever bought was Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction.
Oh, I forgot. That was my favorite album. So yes.
There you go, right? Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA, and then U2, The Joshua Tree, and then Fugazi, 13 Songs. Those, kind of were the foundation of everything that would, unfold from there. And that's going, way back. Obviously lately, like Hot Snakes, I listen to. There's a band called Daywave out of Oakland, California that I really like. Turnover, REM. There's a bunch. So, what else we got?
Well, Bronwyn wants to know what our favorite song is.
Who wants to know?
Bronwyn.
Oh, Bronwyn. Our favorite song?
The band's collective favorite song. What's the band's favorite song of the new album? The new album, sorry.
Oh, off the new album. Wow. Personally, I love playing I Said. That was actually a contender for a single. I think it actually came down to that and Tulare, the ones that, John wrote that song, and we got to actually play that live, and that is a super fun song to play live. So that, for me, that's one of my favorite songs. I Said there's a great story in there, and the great thing about it is that the tempo and the way that song was ultimately structured just turned out to be a great song to play. I love doing that. And Save Me. I really love playing Save Me. That's a great song. So those are mine. I don't know. I don't think the band collectively actually ever sat down, but I'll throw it to Ed on that one.
Yeah, I don't think we all have a same collective vision. I always like John's ballad, so this is my document. It always reminds me of the Beatles for some reason. I don't know why. Every ballad he does is Beatlesque, as I tell him. I like that one. Sunday Cassock. That's pretty cool. Which leads me into another question.
Go ahead.
Somebody had asked what song had changed the most, and I think that Sunday Cassock
that did.
probably fits that because that was actually two separate songs. Yeah. I don't remember the title of the other song, but I know it's two separate songs that we like amalgamated together.
We did actually. So I don't know if it was it via. So I might have the title wrong, but I remember we were in the studio. We were in Gradwell House, and we certainly knew the inspiration and the meaning behind Sunday Cassock and where that was going. And I think, and John could certainly text us and chime in, but I think there was Violence of Action. There was another song called VOA, Violence of Action, I think if I had that right, that had a chorus in it that we liked. And we ended up and we fitted in there along with a transition that was still in the same key, and it ended up working. And that's what ultimately became Sunday Cassock. So Sunday Cassock, there actually was a prior iteration of that, but I think that's what ultimately happened with that one.
So apparently, Rich, I'm frozen again.
Oh no! All right, let me fix that.
And you need to turn up. Apparently, you're a little you're hard to hear. Apparently.
That's weird. Okay. Can you guys hear me now? Is that better?
What are you wearing, Rich?
What am I wearing?
What are you wearing, Rich, from State Farm?
Is that an actual question?
No, that's a joke.
Oh, okay.
A dad joke. Thanks. Anyway, you know.
Can they see you now? Can they hear us? Hopefully they can.
Hopefully. Yep. I'm looking on my phone.
All right. Hey, thanks for being patient.
Weird freeze too. It was like.
Thanks for being patient, everyone. We're at the mercy of Google, Facebook, YouTube, everything, wherever you're listening to. So, any other questions? Ed, any other questions?
You just still need to be louder, apparently.
Oh.
Let's see what else we got here. I'm trying to scroll back here. Oh, the story behind XSF, which is actually a good story.
Oh, that's a good story.
I know.
So, let me see. Hopefully, I think you might have been frozen. Let me fix you first, Ed. Sorry, guys. So XSF, while I'm unfreezing it. So many years ago, I moved out to San Francisco after I graduated from Penn State, and it was Memorial Day weekend, 2001, and obviously 2001 stands out to a lot of us. And 3 months later, 9/11 happened, unfortunately, sadly. And the fallout from that over the subsequent years living there and other things pulled me back to the East Coast. And that song it was a deciding factor because for a long time in Penn State, and I moved out there with John, and we...
Hey, Rich, while you're thinking, you need to be a little louder, apparently.
My vocal itself?
Thanks. Yeah.
Okay, let me see if that does this. Hold on. Test. All right, hopefully that's better.
Hopefully. All right.
Is that good?
I don't know. I'm just getting comments.
Okay.
You need to be louder.
Sorry. I'm trying. I'm almost peeking here. I feel bad about that. Anyway, so that song ultimately ended up becoming it was about moving back east and leaving California when I had many dreams of wanting to be there. And, the landscape of everything changed. And it was a deciding factor of what I had to do. And that's what ultimately that song was. So the SF is San Francisco, San Francisco, because, it was that long-term dream that, in 2 years ended up getting shifted, real quick. And, went on with life and job and what have you. But, in my heart, and, I love California, and I'm looking forward to at least some point getting back. And I do go back and visit, definitely. But that's what that song's about. It was about leaving that and leaving what, that ideal, that monument of what that was to me, graduating, out of Penn State and, from college and beginning, that next chapter in my life. But, the chapter ended up having another chapter after that, and another chapter after that. So that's what that song was. Hopefully everyone can hear me better. Try not to blast it when I start singing.
Yeah, I'm getting that it's better.
Okay. Did you freeze again?
Probably. I don't know.
We're at the mercy. There we go. Okay. So, any other questions?
Which bands would you most like to tour with? Oh, probably the Foo Fighters.
Yeah, Foo Fighters would be great. We have a message into Dave Grohl. Adam's on top of that, so we're waiting to hear back. Hopefully that happens. Wow. I don't know. I wish the other guys could chime in. Maybe they could text in and tell us so we could answer for them who they love to tour with. We had the pleasure of playing shows with, with Iron Chic. We had the great pleasure of touring with Mock Orange, who
I was just going to say that, yeah.
Yeah, we had such a great time touring with those guys, and we love those guys dearly. It's funny, man. Rewinding the clock years ago, the four of us would listen to them, and we didn't know them at the time, and just fell in love with their records, their music, and stuff like that. And here we are years later, and we became really good friends with them, and we did a mini tour with them, and we look forward to hopefully doing that again with them. So that is definitely a band, even though we have, it's a band I certainly want to tour with again because it was a kick-ass time. And you could actually go online and see a show that we did in Richmond with them, and you could see how off the hook it went. I encourage you to do that. Look through our feed, you'll find it. Others, Jesus, you name it. Turnover, Hot Snakes, there's so many bands I would love to play with. I could count. I can't even count on one hand. How about you, Ed?
Currently? Yeah, we definitely had a good time with Mock Orange. Funny enough, we also have an old friend's bands called The Orange. Yeah. Which we had the fortunate pleasure of playing with again a couple years ago, from way back in the day. Honestly, yeah, play with any band.
That's true. All right. I'll take another question, or we can go to the next song.
Get on to the next song, because what the time? We're about halfway through 5:30, so
that's good. That's good. This is going good. Great.
Here's some more rock and roll.
More rock and roll. All right. This next song is called Rewind. Hold on. All right, there we go. probably one of the darker songs on the record, I think lyrically. This was about trying to get back what you thought you had in the beginning in any relationship, but doesn't have to necessarily apply to that. But, it's the same old adage of, wanting to turn back time and take back some of the things you may have said, you may have done, or even ultimately maybe who you became when you're looking at that, person in the mirror now. So this song was, in a sense, capturing that, with a lot of imagery around it. So this song's called Rewind. Test. We took a drive to lose ourselves tonight. We don't seem to mind. We don't mind. And everywhere the eyes are on tonight, they don't seem to mind. They don't mind. 'Cause all these things that are weighing on us, all these things that are wasting time, rewind between the lines. All these things that are weighing on us, are all these dreams we've been giving up, rewind between the lines. The needle drives down your skin tonight. I don't seem to mind. Yeah, I don't mind. And everywhere the eyes are on tonight, they don't seem to mind. They don't mind. 'Cause all these things that are weighing on us, all these things that are wasting time, rewind between the lines. All these things that are weighing on us, are all these dreams we've been giving up, rewind between the lines. All these things that are weighing on us, are all these things that are wasting time, rewind between the lines. All these things that are weighing on us, are all these dreams we've been giving up, rewind between the lines. Can we rewind? Well, can we rewind? All right. So that was Rewind. Let's get back to our buddy Ed. Ed, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
Do we got any more questions?
I do. I was trying to look back because we had a question about whether there was a demo that we wish we put on the record, and I was trying to look back to our Dropbox because there's so many ideas I can't even remember
Oh,
them.
there are so many, but I can say this.
John is like probably the most prolific writer. It's just like he's kind of like it's always there's always every day. I mean, I know the last record he had every song was titled a different day. We had June 4th, June 5th, June 6th, June 7th.
Yeah, that was telemetry. Yeah, yeah. So actually, it's a good opportunity to. I'm going to tune too while I'm at this. We have what's called the Fine Radio Friendship Society. You could easily get to that through our website or through Facebook and a number of places. It's certainly been promoted. And what we have there, you just sign up with your email address, but you'll have access to a number of demos and ideas and stuff that we're certainly going to be populating over time. So what you'll see there, though, I think there's about 4 that we uploaded that were demos for this record. For monuments that they didn't make it or they weren't fully realized, what have you, etc. But go take a look. So I'm blanking on some of the names, unfortunately, sorry. But I think the 4 that we have up there were fun ones, and you could see at least kind of some of the directions that we thought we may go or may not go. But there were some fun ones there. But again, actually, I come back. Oh God, I wish I remember the name. Was it Violence of Action? There was a song that John had that he brought that came to. We were in the studio with Jesse, and we were actually coming down to 10 songs, and I think I was trying to push us to get to 12, and I think that 12th song, which might have been VOA, which we ended up taking the chorus and putting it in the Sunday Classic, I think in the end, and I could have the title completely wrong, but there is a song in there that was to be the 12th song. But time and effort, etc., was kind of trumping that, and because we wanted to realize what was going to be the best for this record, and that was that one. So
I found the files. Long Division was one that I really liked.
Maybe that was it.
I'll have to listen to that again later. And I didn't even remember this one, but this is a good one. It must be a John one. It's called Fake News.
That was one of the first ones he sent out, I think.
I don't remember what it sounds like, but the title is good.
I think if we had, there was one where John Both and I were singing on one too. That was like a really rough idea called Dreams or something like that. I forget.
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, the only thing I can find file there's Two Layer, which that came out. This is my document. Then there's something called Karma. I don't remember that one. I remember Bell Jar, something called Bell Jar. I remember that one. There was a lot though. Like I said, John just puts out a lot.
So why don't you talk about what bass sound like that you have? Like, has your bass sound evolved? Do you think over time between all the records, even from way back when? Like, is there something that you think you strive for, go for?
Yeah, I mean, definitively. I like the gritty, nasty, funky sound. I think it might have been.
Nasty and funky.
Yeah, I think it might have been Bootsy Collins that said you don't change your strings because the funk is in the grit.
Dude,
even though obviously I had to change my strings, like I said earlier, when Jesse made me change my strings.
Yo, I remember, you probably still do this though, man. I remember you texting us and telling us how, yo, I'm boiling my strings.
Oh yeah, man. You gotta boil. You can boil them. You can get another extra life out of them. You boil them out, and then you gotta put them in the oven for a little bit to dry them out good. You put them in the oven with tinfoil over it, pop some holes in there to vent it. You can get a little bit more life out of that. Yeah, for sure.
But all that time, can you just go out and just buy new strings?
No, man. Bass strings are a little more expensive than guitar strings, but of course they do last longer.
Yeah, that's true. We got to do. I was talking to John the other night when we were kind of preparing for this and kind of going back and forth, and he was helping me set this up. We got to do a rig rundown for you. You got to post a video of a rig rundown.
Oh, you just gave me the perfect opportunity to show off my new rig.
There we go.
Hang on.
So Ed there is not a moment that goes by that between the band when we're texting and talking and keeping in touch that Ed's not tooling and doing something new with his rig. And here it is. Go ahead, Ed.
Boom! So, I don't know if you can see. I mean, if Andrew Wellbrook is watching, because he was watching before, he has this orange terror head. We'll have to get the original. Hang on one second. Let me get the box for it. We shall see.
All right. So hopefully you guys can hear. Thank you for hanging around and tuning in for this. This is actually super fun, and we're looking forward to doing more of these for you guys. Oh, here's back.
So this is what this head originally looks like. It's this hybrid head. It only weighs like 11 pounds. But it's got a lot of power to it. So it looks like that. Mm-hmm. So then we got the rigged up quarantine project. Make it look like a real orange head. You got the boom. And then, let's see. Oh, that's the back. Boom.
So
then it looks like
Ed, turn to the side of that.
Lunchbox.
Does that
this side?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the fan is and the DI and the.
Yeah, sure, for the vent. But is it close to the input, or your inputs are clean getting in there?
I don't even use that. That's the effect loop. The input's in the front.
Yeah, right. You're no effects. You're no effects guy. All right. Any other questions while you were doing that?
Oh, new orange preamp pedal. I did see that. I do like my Sans Amp 3-channel. That's pretty much good. But I did see the new orange preamp pedal. But I don't know. You can keep getting pedals. It'll look like a Dream Theater or something, I guess.
You certainly can. All right. Okay. Should we go to another song, or we got another question to take?
Let me look back. I think we're caught up.
Cool.
Oh, Alana says she can't wait to see us with Red City Radio. We're supposed to have a show.
Yeah,
pretty shortly, but I don't think it's happening.
I guess we should address that. So, this pandemic in and of itself is terrible. It's awful, and we're going to be living with it for a bit, and everyone is doing exactly, I think, what they can to, power through this and to pivot off the changes that we have to make, in and of itself, within the home, with kids and school and what have you. And, while many industries across the board were affected by this, the music industry certainly was. So there's no, a lot of festivals, a lot of clubs, a lot of tours, all the things have been canceled, as a result. And, that is still being figured out, and it's going to be figured out. It's going to continue to be figured out, as the weeks and months go on. And, we did have dates planned in May to support this record, and we were doing a show at Red City Radio, our hometown show in Philly. We were going to be playing at Kung Fu Necktie. Unfortunately, that is, being canceled right now and postponed to, next year as far as, that is related. But, we continue to kind of monitor the situation and kind of seeing what we can do. But in the meantime, you're looking at, part of what we're trying to do to stay connected with everyone. And, this is fun, this is cool, and we're looking to do a lot more things, kind of like this. And, hey, look, write us, email us, everyone does. It's great. I mean, we get messages from all over the world, which is so cool. So keep sending them in. If there's something you want to hear, there's something you want us to do, there's something you want to see, let us know, because, we're here, and we're going to be here, and we're always going to be here, and we're going to keep doing what we're doing. But when the time comes that it's safe for everyone, and we're told that, and we feel that, we're going to be out again, and we're going to be doing what we do, probably stronger than ever. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
All right, what do you got on tap now?
On tap is another song called Gravity. This song's off the record. It's the second track. I'm going to transition over to that right now. Stand by, everyone. Test. down, and there's a ghost in this house. Don't you ever make a sound. Down, 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 down. Heavy and smooth down, and there's a ghost in this house. Don't you ever make a sound. He keeps my head above ground. Don't you ever make a. Gravity is always pulling me. Gravity is always pulling me down. And I will save your heart. Moving pictures come back together. Run. You said run. And when this falls apart, hold me up and stitch back together. Run. You said run. Down, heavy and smooth down, gripping life from this house. Don't you ever make a sound. He keeps my head above ground. Don't you ever make a sound. I will save your heart. Moving pictures come back together. Run. You said run. And when this falls apart, hold me up and stitch back together. Run. You said run. There we go. Let's get back to Ed. Ed, did we lose your video, man? Oh, there we go.
I don't know. I'm lagging on the watching on the phone here. So
We should be good.
I think I'm back.
Think we're back? Good. All right. All right. So, what else do we have? Any other questions coming in?
Looking back. No, so give us your questions. I think I got all of them so far. Yeah, I think that's about it. Hey, well, so tell us about your tattoos.
Are you asking that?
I'm asking that question, yeah. I mean, yeah, since they're visible at this point.
Since they're visible. So probably, so this one here, if anyone can see it, is a shark with an anchor. It says Forever Family. That's, well, obvious, Forever Family. But a lot of it's for my dad, who passed away 8 years ago. But a lot of ideals and what it means to be family resonated, stayed with me, and holds with me true. So it's an amalgamation of that and come to some of the things that you see hold fast. But he used to hunt shark a lot, and I used to fish with him a lot down in Ventnor, New Jersey, many years ago. So that is probably one of the biggest ones. I love owls. That's what this one is. How about you, Ed? You got many.
Yeah, here's my first tattoo is, I hope that's the right one. Yep, right here. Let's see if it's in there right. Just the gorilla, not the rest of it. That was my favorite band, Gorilla Biscuits. And then the rest got filled in with all Japanese type stuff. But my favorite, and you probably can tell what my favorite color is as well, is that, let's see, is it in there? Ooh, That's my base. So anyway, guess my favorite color.
Purple.
Pretty much, yeah. My bathroom's purple now.
All right.
We have a question here.
Okay. What?
Who wrote that amazing guitar riff in the chorus for Gravity?
So,
guess who asked that question?
was that Adam? So Gravity, yeah. So the song I just played, Adam and again, like, you know, we collaborate, but Adam, that was all Adam, our drummer, man. He came up with that awesome chorus, the hook of that, which was so awesome, and it worked well. Nothing ever changed from the inception and the original idea from that. So kudos to Adam, which only exemplifies and piles on to his amazing drumming skills, which is great. That dude is awesome, man. He's one of my brothers for life. All right, so we're down to the final 5 minutes. So take another question. Otherwise, we'll do one more song and call it. I have to thank all of you for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys being here. We're going to do more of these. We'll do more on Instagram, Periscope, you know, mostly on Fridays maybe. I think it seems to be the trend that we're doing it. That seems to work for others, but who knows? You know, keep tuned. You know, there's going to be more news coming out of things that we're doing, and talks of things that we're planning, you know, moving forward to keep this train rolling. But we're grateful for all of you, and it's humbling. And thanks so much. Thanks to everyone that sent us emails and texts and messages and pre-ordered the record and what have you. You know where to find us. You know where to tune in and look to learn more. So you know, thanks. So I'm gonna do one more song called "Breaking," which was awesome because if Jesse's watching, I don't know if he is, but he's the man. The final tracking of this song was done on the last day. And we had schedules to keep, and everyone was all over the place because we were in our, I don't know, 7th or 8th day of tracking. And Jesse and Adam, I think. Jesse and Adam both sing on this record, and Jesse does, I think, some percussion on this as well. On Rewind that we did, actually, Jesse does some keys too, even throughout the record, which was so cool. It was so much fun. I'll always work with that guy. He's the man. So, I'll go to breaking, Ed, unless there's another question we should take.
Just one more announcement. Actually, yesterday was Richard's birthday.
Yes.
So, I'm not going to sing, so don't worry about it.
Why not? You should.
I'm not singing Happy Birthday. Well, just remember, though, public service announcement, you sing Happy Birthday twice while you wash your hands.
Was it like 20 seconds? Something like that?
Yeah, something like that. We don't have the rights to Happy Birthday, so if I sing it, we might get dimed out by Facebook.
Yeah, thanks, Facebook.
Because they track that stuff. If you play a full song or something that you don't own on Facebook, they'll hit you.
Oh, Jesus. Wonderful.
Then we'll be in Facebook jail probably or something like that.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, hey, thanks, everyone. We're going to do one more song, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. Drink up and, make the best of it. All right? Love you guys. Thank you. This song's
Thank you as well. Yep. This was fun, and we definitely got to do some more.
Mm-hmm. We will. All right. Chasing all the lies, stay lost, confusion in the lines. Stay lost, hide the alkaline. Stay numb, life's so powerful. by stone, I'll break them down. I'm the one forgone. Now I'm standing, I'm breaking all the walls you built. I'm breaking, I'll break them. Halos say betrayed. You're lying, you're lying. Now we crown the snakes. You're lying, you're lying. And time that golden case. Stay numb, oh. The threads we've pulled, we're pulling on. Stone by stone, we'll break them down. We're the ones forgone, and now we're standing. We're breaking all the walls you built. We'll break them down. We're the ones forgone, and now we're standing. We're breaking all the walls you built. We'll break them down. Thank you, everyone.
That was good, and you're like right on the money. We're at 5:59.